actually reveal to you where my studio is today?
Yay!
Jump into the coach boat and they hug each other and they celebrate together because it's such a teamwork.
It's just that now we have to be super conscious that we're producing more waste, and we've got to be better at giving it a second use.
We were going to try and pledge to make these changes, and then we thought actually it'd be really cool if other athletes, other sailors could get on board to kind of leave no trace or leave wherever you've been cleaner than how you found it.
To get this boat, this platform, and they put up this whole thing for you guys. If I hear any complaining, get out of here.
Which of you was on board when this happened?
I was on the weather side of the boat, going underwater, holding my breath. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I was on the leeward side of the boat, getting blasted with water from behind. So
wasn't that the 47 knots, you guys?
Girls have to look like this, be like that, be like this, do that. But when you're at sea, you don't have to wash, you don't have to dress properly, you don't have to do your hair. It sounds like being in lockdown.
I love it. I mean, seriously, I have washed my hair for you for the first time in a very long time.
Part of the problem, or part of our challenge, is the tall poppy syndrome in Australia, having lived in the US a lot and other parts of the world. And I felt that one of the biggest hurdles that we have as a nation is when people are successful, they try and kind of, they're uncomfortable with success. Hopefully we're growing out of that.
we could continue all night, I'm sure, hearing your beautiful stories and your memories. But again, I just want to reiterate, it's not 7 years that you've served your country or inspired others. It's definitely been a lifetime. And for me, before I was born. So
thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. And what you're doing is terrific for the sport and terrific for sailing. And as I said at the start of this little interview, this whole online thing is just a game changer. So I think it's really, really exciting.
Hi, everybody. I thought we'd finish on that note. Mr. JB, John Bertrand, given that the news of this week obviously has to be that the Prada Cup is kicking off tomorrow. AC36, here we come. I'm so very excited. The only sad bit is that we all can't be there in New Zealand to see what's happening. My gosh, the world has changed. Just looking back at that previously on when I was grasping at straws and what to do to try and not only keep everyone entertained while we were in lockdown, but to keep it, myself entertained when we're used to going from event to event to event to event, especially in sailing, in sports, in media. Hospitality as well has really suffered over this period. I mean, far out. What a year. The last time I spoke to you guys, it was, I was at Sail Paradise, so more domestically in terms of news. We've actually managed to have a regatta in Australia, which is fantastic. And, of course, at the end of last year, we lost the Rolex Sydney Hobart, which was obviously a massive moment in history for a lot of people. But most importantly, we're focusing on our health and the health of those around us at the moment. And I think that's really important. That said, looking forward to the Cup kicking off tomorrow in its official capacity. There's no more practice now. It's all about game day. So very excited to be watching that. And we will be bringing you a show every single day that there's racing, and probably some others. And we'll have a bunch of guests that will come and give us their opinions on the racing. Basically, Adventures Weekly, Cup style. We'll see what happens. But talking about domestic news and what's been going on domestically, at the Bartercard Sail Paradise Regatta, the 12th edition, my 5th edition, personally being there. It was fantastic to be back on the Gold Coast. We saw winners in the IRC division from Crankster, the Far 40, PHS Division 1 was won by Envy, Division 2 on PHS was won by Easy Day, Cruising was won by Bumblebee 4, the winner of Rolex Sydney Hobart in 1979, and the winner of the Trailer Bulls was the beautiful Nolex 30, Christina. So congratulations to all of those winners. And speaking of winners, today our guests on the show are none other than two very key components to the Crankster crew. 5 of these crew members were under the age of 25, which is pretty phenomenal, but we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get them up on screen. We have Tom Needham and also Joel Turner, direct from the Gold Coast. How are we, guys?
Hi, Nikki.
Thanks. How are you?
Really good. Happier to see you guys. Is it still warm up there?
Oh yeah, the sun's shining.
Tasty.
The beach is good.
The beach is good? I'm jealous. I'm inland.
Yeah, you're missing out up here. I think we got like 30 degrees for the next few days, and we've got actually another yacht race coming up this weekend where it's super hot and a really nice breeze as well. So we're just living the dream up here in the COVID safe haven.
Yeah, you have been safe, but Tom, the Surf to City, I'm guessing is the race that you guys are speaking of. It kind of seemed a little bit doubtful when I left last week with the lockdown in Brisbane.
Yeah, we had a 3-day lockdown up here in Brisbane, but thankfully we didn't get really any community transfer of coronavirus. So fortunately, the race is still going ahead, and really looking forward to doing it again on Crankster.
Yeah, I bet you guys are. Here's a little picture of you guys ripping downwind. So Joel, what do you do on the boat on the Far 40?
Last week, Tom and I were both in the middle of the boat trimming. So we're trimming the jib and the spinnaker, and because of, I guess, our common sailing experience, we both had a little bit of an input into the strategy of the boat sailing upwind and downwind as well. So yeah, it was nice. We were like quite central in the boat. The team got along really, really well, and they all trusted us quite a bit, even though we've got good experience in the Far 40 class. So it was just a really great week of sailing.
Oh, absolutely. Wasn't it a great week? I described it as basically postcard conditions until the last day when it was, I don't know, like going to Hobart. But you guys didn't even experience that day because you'd already won with a day to spare. How did that feel, Tom?
Yeah, that was really good. Wicko, the owner of the boat, was quite pleased the day before when he realised that we'd won the regatta already and didn't have to take his boat out in what was looking like 25 knots and big waves. So yeah, a little bit of just taking care of the boat. Fortunately, the wind wasn't too bad out there, but we were watching the racing, and it was great to see all the boats go up and down the coast.
Yeah, you got to see a little bit of what all of the visitors get to see, I guess, when they're looking out at you guys racing. I mean, it was featured on Channel 7 News, Channel 9 News. Everyone was keen to see what was going on. But you got to see a little bit about that. But what was the best bit of the regatta for you, Joel?
Oh, just I think the camaraderie of the team on board. It was really, really good fun. Like you said, there was 4 or 5 of us that were under the age of 25, including Tom and myself, and just having like a quite young team mixed with 4 or 5 substantially older guys as well. They everyone just kind of got together really well and trusted each other, and a lot of us hadn't sailed together at all before, so it was just really cool to see the team kind of bond throughout the 3 days of racing, and we were managing to sail really well, so that was just really exciting to see. And as always, the owner of the boat, Wicko, was super stoked to be on the top of the podium at the end of the week.
I bet he was. And here's a little picture of you guys enjoying the trophies, one of which was a surfboard. And right in the middle there with the trophy, I know there were 5 of you under 25, but just to show how fantastic sailing is, Robertson is 81. How glamorous. Did you learn lots off him, Tom?
Yeah, Robbo, yeah, he's a legend. I was sitting next to him as we were going upwind, and unfortunately, he had a couple of thrills and spills, but yeah, it was awesome sailing with him. I think he said he'd done 12 Hobarts before, and you know, we'd swing out on the rail together, and he'd be bleeding down one knee and all this, but he was just loving it, and it's so good just having such a mixed crew of ages. Yeah, it was just an awesome crew to sail with.
Absolutely. And now we've got a little bit of a delay on Tom's picture, so he'll probably start talking now without any words. But yeah, fantastic that you guys got to sail with Robbo. What a glamour, and congratulations to you. Wicko said that he was really happy that you guys brought the average of the team down as well, and couldn't really say enough praise for you too. So without further ado, I think we should have a little bit of a look at more of what you guys do when you're not on a Far 40. I mean, like I said in the opening of this little show, that we've all had to adapt and we've all had to change, but really what you guys do is sail a 49er. You're part of the Australian Sailing Development Squad, and you're now campaigning towards Paris 2024. So let's have a little bit of a look at what you do away from Far 40 sailing.
I think it's really good fun. I think the closer the racing, the better it is. Really, it can get a little bit tedious if it's a bit of a soldier's track, so when it's really close and everyone's tight, it's great fun.
Yeah, it's a short qualifying for this regatta, only 6 races, so basically it makes every race really count.
Really good. Obviously we had a tough day yesterday, probably didn't manage the seaweed very well, so it was great today. I think we ended up with a 2, a 5 and a 1, so just good to perform better, I think.
We were on the close course, so we had really nice flat water, so the racing is really fast, like all the boats are going really quick, and we can be at the top mark with like 15 boats at the same time, so it's getting pretty close and it's exciting racing.
I think we've qualified today in the top 10, so it's really another regatta beginning tomorrow for the final series.
Yes, just a little bit different to the Far 40, coming back to talk to the 49er. In fact, I was thinking what I might just show is you guys here. This is the Far 40. Chilling, trimming. Very, very different pace to this. I mean, unbelievable difference. But
Far 40 shot was probably just before the beers came out too.
Very, very different. I mean, the athleticism involved for sailing a 49er, for anyone who has actually seen them, and now hopefully our viewers have had a little bit of a look at that video just to see where we're coming from. But the fitness levels must be intense, Joel.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I absolutely love about sailing the 49er. I was lucky enough that I was actually a helm of the 49er for a few years, and then I switched to the crewing position, and I actually just really love the physicality of the role. It makes it actually feel like a real sport. As you know, a lot of sailing can be pretty easy on the physical side, so I just love the physical challenge of the boat, and obviously once the breeze gets up there, just a hell of a lot of fun to try and control and then get around a racetrack while you're racing a whole fleet of boats at the same time.
Unbelievable. You don't have to convince me. I'm a small boat person when I'm actually racing. But Tom, also featured in that video there, we had Sam and Will Phillips, who are the Australian sailing team representatives for the 49ers. So they're just one notch up from you guys. I mean, how much do you talk with them and how much are you learning from them, even though at the moment you're in different states? It must be hard for you guys as their training partners as well to be supporting them when they're trying to get ready for a potential re-go at Tokyo 2020.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We get on really well with Will and Sam. Obviously, they're down in Melbourne right now, and our plan was to go down there and sail with them. Unfortunately, we got a bit stuck with the lockdown and things like that. But we're always communicating and trying to plan the next camp, regardless if it has to get cancelled or things like that. Just trying to plan ahead and just try our best to get sailing with all the boys and the rest of the squad. We've got a really good group of 5 or so boats within the Australian Sailing Squad, and it's just such a good group of guys, and we all share our information so openly and train together. And when we can't go overseas and race, the best thing that we can do is have a good squad and be able to train together.
Yeah. And what a lot of people don't realise, a lot of the competition doesn't happen here, and it's not like just playing a soccer game or just going and, running down a track. It is incredibly difficult for you guys to find that level of racing here in Australia when effectively Europe and the UK haven't really stopped. I mean, they've had periods of stopping, but they're still able to go and race against each other. I mean, what has that meant to you, especially with things like the Far 40 and being able to transfer your skills and keep learning?
Yeah, exactly. Joel and I have made it quite a high priority, the fact that we can't go overseas and race just yet, and we don't know what this year is going to hold. So we're trying to get on as many boats as we can domestically and join regattas, sailing VX1s. I do a lot of windsurfing and things like the Far 40 and the Surfer City and Sail Paradise, which was such a great regatta. Just a close thing. You just need the racing experience as much as possible.
100%. And then, of course, having fun as well. I mean, being at Sail Paradise was a blast. And there are a lot of people saying that you weren't only the champions on the water, you were also the champions off the water. I probably shouldn't publicise that when we're talking about your athleticism. But, I mean, it must be really great to feel that camaraderie and that support when it has been a really tough, 12 months for sailors and athletes worldwide. Joel?
Yeah, I mean, one of the main reasons we do this sport is because it's fun. It's not the kind of thing that you can go into and expect to just be able to provide for a family straight away, if you know what I mean. It's not a solid income that we're getting. So it's obviously a lot of fun and we enjoy it a lot. And this year, like Tom said, we don't know what it's going to bring in terms of international travel. So one thing that is really important is that we continue to enjoy sailing, and that means that we're going to continue to mix it up. We're not just going to be day in, day out for the whole year on the 49er, because I think we'd go a little bit insane if we did that. So we're just trying to keep it really interesting and keep it fun, and we just want to make sure that once we are able to go back overseas, that we're ready to turn up and perform at that stage as well.
Absolutely. And I know there's a lot of us chomping at the bit. I mean, this morning I was getting frustrated because when I get this level, I don't like losing. I want to do the best coverage that I can for sailing. My athlete brain, I think, has sort of moved into that. So not being in New Zealand is somewhat killing me. But at the same time, we just have to do the best we can with the circumstances that we have. So, onward and upward. And on that, what's next for you guys after the Surf to City this weekend with Crankster?
Probably watch your coverage of the cup racing. But other than that, we're heading down to New South Wales into Lake Macquarie, rural New South Wales, for a camp with all the other 49er boys, and we'll have a good training block down there. And then, I guess, like you said, try and find more racing to do back at home. And we'll have our equipment back here now, and we'll be back on the 49er at home. I sail out of the Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron, and it's just a great training venue. So even though we don't have many boats that sail here in the 49er, it's perfect conditions.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gutted. I was meant to be up there in a few weeks for the VX1 national title, so we'll have to rematch in the future, Tom. But without further ado, I better let you guys get moving. I know you've got a bit to do, and Tom's still got a bit of a lag in his footage, which is cracking me up. So thank you so much both for joining me today, and good luck with your training, and of course good luck to all of our Australian sailing team athletes as they basically attempt to deal with this year as best they can. It's not easy. As for those who have small businesses or are pushing really hard in an industry that's been really hit hard by COVID, we send you all our best, and let's hope that we get a little bit more normal as we head into the rest of 2021. Good luck, guys. Have a fantastic year. You're very welcome. Tom's still chattering away.
We'll see the racetrack somewhere soon.
Yes, that would be great. And good luck on the weekend, all right? We'll see you very soon. Thank you so much, guys. And as I mentioned, you're very welcome. As I mentioned, guys, we will be having in the morning our first AC snack and wrap catch up. I haven't really worked out what it's going to be show, but it will be fantastic once I do make up my mind. And I'm looking forward to talking to you every day thereafter. We'll talk to you very soon, guys. Enjoy. Take care, stay safe, but get all the adventures in that you can, hey? Cheers.
This is Nick Douglas for Adventures of a Sailor Girl at the beautiful Vidala Palace in Alicante, in San Francisco, in Newport with Nick Dana. This is Nick Douglas for Cows Week 2019. We are out on Sydney Harbour. The easterly has just filled in.
The 71st Brisbane to Gladstone yacht race being streamed live to the universe. Joining me in commentary this morning, accomplished yachtswoman, multiple-time national champion and sailing social media queen. Nick Douglas, welcome.
Thank you so much, Grant. Great to be back.
Great to have you along.
Day 2 of the Invictus Games, and who better to have with us? Nick, what are we in for today?
I think it's going to be a fantastic day to see sailing make its debut in the Invictus Games. They go across the finish line though. You indicated to your dad, who's actually off camera at the moment, but you sail with him.
Yeah, sailed with my dad, which is really nice because he sailed with his dad.
You went sailing yesterday. How did you go?
Good.
What was your result?
What's the result?
Girls have to look like this, be like that, but when you're at sea, you don't have to wash, you don't have to dress properly, you don't have to do your hair. Sounds like being in lockdown.
I love it. I mean, seriously, I have washed my hair for you for the first time in a very long time.
Hometown effectively as a team is pretty amazing.
I think the big thing for me is really about creating opportunities. It's a difficult sport to get into for young girls to have that vision and know that they can do it.
This is Nick Douglas for Adventures of a Sailor Girl on the dock at Hamilton Island Yacht Club, keeping you covered for your 75th anniversary of the Rolex Sydney Hobart.
You know, I'm a paraplegic, use a wheelchair, and just being on the boat is really cool. Like, all the people walking up and down the dock here would have no idea.
That when you're running an awareness campaign such as Ocean Respect Racing, there's so much more than just going sailing, as you said.
Yeah, well, luckily the job list for the boat is getting shorter, but the job list for educating and bringing awareness about sustainability, that's long and that will never get shorter. We need to just keep working at that.
This morning we have been helping out with a little clean-up organised by the Volvo Ocean Race, and you'd be surprised how much garbage. Now, sustainability is your thing. Tell me a little bit about what the SailGP is doing.
We're doing it across the organisation, so both at a business level, so within our offices, trying to reduce our single-use plastic use, also trying to use renewable energy source.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. And what you're doing is terrific for the sport and terrific for sailing. And as I said at the start of this interview, you know, this whole online thing is just a game changer. So I think it's really, really exciting.
Good to be out here with you. This is Nick Douglas for Adventures of a Sailor Girl. Stay tuned. I've got plenty more adventures coming your way. See you soon.